parking here, and I missed you. It's been 7 whole days. And we are back with Nuggets with Nathalie and my girl, the leadership and team expert, Miss Aisha Thomas.
Hey, y'all.
In the building. We are live right now on Instagram and Facebook, and Instagram won't let me be great, but I'm going to be great anyway. You guys, this ponytail, Aisha, my ponytail's on quarantine.
Wow.
But we are here today, and we're super excited to share with you all of the information that you need during this time to make sure that you maximize your funding and your leading.
Yes.
And it's so important, especially in times like this, that you are taking the time to invest in yourself. Hi, Tamika. I'm so glad to see you on the line. Tamika is in our group coaching, and she has already launched her online platform. She's working on her website. Super excited for her.
Yay.
She's the importance of coaching, and we're going to talk about that. And Tamika, maybe you could chime in too and tell us the effect that coaching has had on you. Go live with Aisha. All right. So we're live right now. Go ahead. Do me a favor, guys. We loved you. We missed you. But we want you to make sure that you like, share, comment, and get as many people in the room so that they can get all these nuggets tonight. What are we talking about, Aisha? Tonight, we're going to be sharing some key strategies, as well as ways that you can leverage your online platforms, how to have messaging that speaks not just to your ideal audience, but that develops you as a leader as well as your team. And lastly, Aisha, you're going to drop the major nugget tonight. What's the major nugget, the last nugget that you're going to share tonight with the people?
We're going to talk about innovation, like the importance of innovation and how that's going to benefit the customer, yourself, your organization, your business, and your team, how to shape your team based off of that innovation. Yes.
Speaking of innovation, and I'm not being petty, I promise. But can we have a conversation about the Teddy Riley and Babyface situation? Because I was really looking forward to that.
I was too, especially when they went like with the round 2. I was like, great. But yeah, there were definitely specific lessons that we can learn as leaders and, entrepreneurs, nonprofits. Like, it's applicable to all, from watching what happened the first time and watching what happened the second time.
So if you are on the line now and you were watching, anticipating, caught the replays of the Babyface and Teddy Riley versus battle, if you saw it, put 1 in the comments. If you didn't, put 2 in the comments. Because we don't want to have this conversation and assume that you saw it. We want to know that you were a part of it. There's a few things that I picked up, Aisha. One, I think it was important to see how they collaborated, how you got 2 different platforms, 2 major leaders in their fields to come together, to love on the world, to share great music, to entertain, lift our spirits. I think that was phenomenal. I think some of the areas where I was disappointed was in the area of innovation, in that Tamika said, I heard about it.
You heard about it.
In that Teddy Riley specifically was trying to take a kind of dated, traditional concert experience and translate that in an online platform. That was, 1, not the right platform, 2, not the right framework. And in so many ways, when you talk about innovation, he was dating himself. He was, kind of putting himself back because he did not I think, have enough millennial leaders. I didn't see any millennials in the room. I didn't see any women in the room, not saying that women weren't there, but in his team structure, you can see that you didn't spend enough time thinking about the back end for this to really be successful and to flourish. And so I think that's something that's important for any leader that's trying to do anything right now that's online, that's virtual, whether you're immersed in that world or not. You have to be transformational and innovation in your thinking, even in the way you set up your team.
Yes, yes. I mean, I agree 100%. I'm working on a couple of things, but I did a study and I wanted to look into the shape of most workspaces, most organizations. So you have, as you say, millennials make up like most of the percentage, about 35% of, most businesses, organizations. And they said in 2020, about 27%, 25% of the Gen Z is what's going to make up a lot of these organizations, businesses. They're going to be, pretty much flowing in. And I think what you're saying is so important. We have to recognize that, yes, we might be old school or we might have a certain type of pattern, but the great thing about innovation is about making some changes in established type of procedures, processes, so we can ensure that in this season, we're making adjustments based off of what your customer wants to see, what's the current experience like, what platforms are people using. And I think as leaders, we have to remind ourselves is that, because I talk about that all the time, a lot of businesses, a lot of organizations are going to have to unfortunately shut down because they didn't take time to understand the current platform. They didn't take time to really get an understanding of what they need so they can be more innovative. And they didn't set a budget aside to do that. So now when it's time to upgrade and maybe invest in all these different platforms and systems, they don't have the money. They haven't set it aside. And now they're having to shut down because they weren't thinking about it or they didn't have that innovative mindset. And now they're in a situation where their business is affected. So I think it's important that leaders do take time and assess, get with your people, find out what the shape of your organization is, and also what is the current trend? What's going to take your business, your organization forward? What's being done differently now than what you might be used to or what you have established?
Now, and this is probably a loaded question, but let's think about it. What are the reasons that people fail to innovate? Whether it's in their personal life, their professional life, or even now, like, so, I'm in the nonprofit and the faith-based world. And that first week of going totally virtual, people were like, I don't have a plan. I don't know what to do. And I feel like a lot of the times we're even like that in our personal lives or whatever the next step for us looks like. Where do you think that apprehension to innovate comes from?
I mean, again, it depends. Like, I know I talk about the behavior styles and the different type of behavior styles that we have. So like, for instance, if we use the C, those are individuals that are about processes, but a lot of them are fearful of change because, again, change to them means an interruption in their process, which makes them uncomfortable. So if you're a leader that is someone that's uncomfortable for change, you might just get stuck into the rhythm of the established process. And like I said, you might have not considered budgeting. You haven't considered even tapping into the team that you have. Again, if 35% of the workforce is being led or it's within the millennial range, and that's who's within those organizations, are you asking your people, hey, what's the new thing? How are people getting information now? What is trending currently? Having that conversation, hey, let's trending Tuesday, we're going to have a conversation about what's trending, team. So tell me what's trending, how we can apply it, how we can use it to become more innovative. So I think it's, of course, lack of knowledge. There's some people who like established processes because, again, they're uncomfortable or they're fearful for the change. And then also you don't tap into your team and the current generation and really asking them, what can we do to really innovate during this season? So it's a few of those things, I think.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it has to do with fear, whether it's fear of the unknown or fear of putting yourself out there or fear of, I think sometimes we're even afraid of our own potential. There's a quote that says, our greatest fear is that we are magnificent beyond measure, something like that, right? That we are great and we fare what it takes to reach to that capacity. But I think with innovation, it's not necessarily throwing the baby out with the bathwater, but it's about being humble enough, having some humility to know that, one, I need to lean into the areas of experts around me in my team and even get a coach. So you and I met through a coaching program, and that did wonders for me, because a lot of times I feel like we have perceived notions, whether they're real because of circumstances or situations, or whether they're perceived because we put them on ourselves because of past experiences or trauma or whatever the case is. But having that coach in your life helps you to innovate in a way that, one, I got to deal with me.
Mm-hmm.
I got to lean into someone that is already where I'm trying to go. And then them pushing you and holding you accountable to those goals or objectives or that change or that process that you need to lean into.
Yeah.
I think that's also like a critical part of innovation. Like, you can't innovate alone.
Exactly. And I love that. I love that you said that, because coaching has opened up my mind. It's allowed me to think more and be more innovative. Remember, like, I looked up the definition for innovation. It says to make changes to something established, right? It's methods, ideas, products. And I think that when you are getting coached or support by someone who is where you want to be, who is being innovative, they're able to expand your mind, because a lot of times, sometimes we think in this box, because again, that might be all we've been exposed to. I always talk about exposure. A lot of us have to get exposed to more. So that might mean seeking out help outside of what you're used to. It might be going outside of what you know. And even when you talked about the partnership, I think that's so important, because you talked about Teddy Riley, Babyface. They partnered up because these were two leaders in the music industry, whole legends, and they were able to come together, bring each other's platform together, and do something great with it. So partnerships are so key. I did a post recently about Oprah. Think about how many partnerships that she has that's allowed her own network to blow up. You have Dr. Phil, you have Susie Orman, you have Iyanla Vanzant, you have Dr. Sperry, you have Tyler Perry. She knew that I need to partner with other masterminds, some other leaders within, this space that I'm trying to build. And now we're going to collab, and now we're going to take our stuff to the next level. And I'm sure Tyler Perry exposed her to things that she didn't think of. Iyanla Vanzant, Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz, they probably exposed her to things that kind of opened her mind. And from seeing her back office and seeing the people on her team, they're millennials, they're Gen Z, they're people in the background that's actually supporting them, and they're pushing this innovation. So partnerships are important. And like you're saying, it's really important that you are a coach, or you do connect with people that can help take you to the next level, because sometimes we've been so stuck in this box, and we need exposure from the outside.
That is so true. Tamika said, good point, Aisha. Shout out to one of my coaches who's on the line. Heart of love for you, coach. Tamika, go ahead.
Candace. I didn't even notice. What's up?
Tamika, go ahead, and if you are on the line and you currently have a coach, or you're in our coaching, our free group coaching, go ahead and drop some love in the comments and let us know, why did you do coaching? What was that innovative part in your life? What was the change that you are seeking to make, to whether it's something that you're already doing or something that you seek to do? Because I love what you said, Aisha, that partnership makes such a difference. Even with us as friends and the work that we've been able to do. So I have tons of partnerships with the work that I currently do for the nonprofit that I work with. And that allowed us to accelerate our impact, accelerate our connections, accelerate the amount of money we've been able to raise, the lives we've been able to touch. But even you coming in with a different point of view, perspective, and expertise helped our team in just a matter of a few months to execute at a level that we weren't executing before. And you gave us a tool to do that. So can you take some time to talk a little bit about, as we talk about the transformational leader, as maximizing your messaging, whether it's in developing your team or your online virtual experiences or platforms, what does it mean to tap into the different talents in your team to be able to do that? Because you were able to help us phenomenally.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So again, as we're talking about innovation, I think it's important to think about, like, of course, most organizations, businesses, you'll think first, what's in it for me? But you
Right.
also have to remember, you have to consider the customer, the person you're trying to support, and your team. And everybody in your team has different talents. They have different experiences, background that sometimes we see from the external. Okay, they look like they do this and they look like they might have these strengths just from what you're seeing, but there are some untapped strengths and information that you might not even be aware of, or even that team member might not be aware of, that it's time to unlock. So sometimes as leaders, we have to kind of step out and really start to find different ways to get that information so we can really tap into it and help our team members expand, because again, we're leaders and we should be developing future leaders as well. But we want to allow them to have the confidence to say, hey, you're creative, so we need you in this space. Hey, you're somebody that's really process driven, I need you in this place. Hey, you're somebody that's really results driven, I need you in this place. And that's why tools like the DISC, that's why it's tools like the values and the attributes is really important to tap into, because now you're helping that team member expand their mind, have an understanding, have the language that they need, really understand their creativity and what makes them different. And then also on the leadership side, now oh, you know what, I've been utilizing, let's say Tamika, I've been utilizing Tamika wrong this entire time. She doesn't necessarily want to be in a leadership role. She wants to be in the back and she wants to be creating these new innovative process. You know what? Oh, he wants to lead. Let me see if I can start developing his leadership skills because he's really results focused. Oh, this person is really process or procedures driven. Let me tap into this person and make sure that I am dotting every T and crossing every T and dotting every single I. So I think as leaders, we have to understand the power of developing our people, unlocking those special gifts and talents and strengths that they have, and making sure we put them in the right places, because all that's going to do, again, is benefit us in this innovation process, because now we're tapping into their skills effectively. And now we can get the proper amount of information and support we need to take our businesses or our brands or your nonprofit to the next level.
That's so dope. Guys, if you're just joining, it is the team and leadership development expert, Miss Aisha Thomas, on the line. I'm Nathalie Nelson Parker, and this is Nuggets with Nathalie, and we're talking about what it means to be a transformational leader, to innovate, to maximize your messaging, whether for your online platforms or virtual experiences, and make sure that you increase your productivity with your leadership and your team development. And I think a part of that too that's important, and we talked a lot about this last week, and I want to bring it up again this week, Aisha, because I can't get over the fact that, one, people don't spend enough time to lead within, to understand, like, who am I as a leader? Not just what I do, but who I be. One of my professors used to say, it's not just what you do, who you be, right? So who are you as a leader? I think the DISC assessment helped me to, I had some blind spots, I had some things, but it gave me the language to really understand, oh, this is the way I act, this is the reason why I act like this. This is the reason why I have these blind spots. But then it also helped me to better understand my team. And so we have to understand that innovation and transformation must first start with us.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't matter what you desire to do, what you want to do, it starts with you being really, really real with yourself. And so when I decided, and I don't know, you can talk a little bit maybe about why you went into coaching. When I decided to get a coach, I realized I reached my pinnacle of where I would able to be and to go. I was at my capacity. Some people might say, I felt like a big fish in a small pond, or that I grew, whatever. I just knew that I had more potential, but I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know what that felt like, and I didn't know how to get there. And I had to be real with myself. And that started that process of me seeking coaches and experts in fields that were different than mine so that I could open up my horizon. But at the end of the day, that process helped give me clarity on who I was as a leader. And that DISC assessment gave me a tool to reconcile that, and to better lead myself and my team. Can you talk a little bit about like why you decided to get a coach and how that impacted?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know what to do next. I mean, I'm definitely someone that is driven. I tend to figure things out, but I did not know what to do next. Like, just like you, I was like, okay, I think I'm doing things right, but I don't really know if I'm really doing it right. So I just wanted to get clarity if I was on the right direction, if I was doing things right. And pretty much getting a coach even expanded my mind even more because, again, I initially got into this process, just wanted to be a speaker. You know, I wanted to spread a message about my trauma and prevent it from happening to young people and so on. And come to find out, it kind of opened up doors to now, you know, it turned into a business. It turned into coaching and supporting other people and turned into leadership development. So it was just me wanting to seek more knowledge and make sure that I was doing things effectively, just because I'm naturally my behavior style is all about making sure I do the process effectively.
Mm-hmm.
And because I took that leap, because I was limited in the knowledge or the access that I had, it kind of just opened up my mind and my heart and allowed me to get better information and understanding about where to go. So it really just helped benefit me in that aspect. And then coaching just happened. Like, people just started reaching out to me. They wanted more information. And I realized, even for me, the assessment from me made me understand me a whole nother way, because what happens a lot of times, a whole nother level, because what happens is we tend to walk into these spaces thinking that we need to change ourselves, not realizing that, yes, we need self-awareness, we need authenticity, and we need to
Oh
maximize
my
our
God.
strengths. But a lot of us just need to change the role. A lot of us just need to implement systems. A lot of us just need to implement and put the right people in place in order for us to do what makes us great, what God has put within us. We can be effective here. And now let me build these systems, these processes, and put people in it. So that's what it did for me. So by speaking to people and working with people, you started to realize like they don't really understand themselves. And I know what it did for me. And I just wanted to offer and give that to other people. And just starting with that with leaders, starting with that with team development, that's unlocking so much more, that it's like basically it's starting from here and it's just affecting everything else coming down.
Awesome. Yes, they're giving us love and hearts. Please like, share, and comment. That was a really big nugget because, to be totally transparent, I would often feel like a unicorn, like something was wrong with me. Like, you know, what's wrong with me? Why? But I, through the assessment, realized, girl, you 30-something-year-old Black woman who's a D on the assessment, you're 8 on the Enneagram, and you're results driven. And that kind of personality style is very rare. What is it, Aisha? Like 12%.
Yes, it's 12%. I mean, and then even if you, they don't have the specific number, but just imagine if you start thinking about women that function in that aspect, the numbers might be even more. So it is kind of like being a unicorn. And now you start to think that something's wrong with you, because even people on the outside aren't used to that. A lot of people on the outside think that your directness and your results driven is you're mean or you're angry or you're hardcore or arrogant. Exactly. But there's a heart and there's a mission and there's a reason behind it. You're goal driven. It's not anything about, you being angry at the person, but a lot of people don't understand each other. So for them, it's like, wait, who is this woman that's so aggressive, that's so hardcore? They don't understand it either.
But I think that is so important, particularly if you're out there right now and you're like ready to go to the next level and you don't know what the next level is, whether it's for your nonprofit organization or your business or your church, and you're in a situation where you felt like I did. I am telling you, the DISC assessment helps you to lead from within, but it also helped me to build a team around those kind of blind spots. But even in my social media, how do I talk to the people who are not like me? Because I'm going to be like, here's a link, click it. And that's it for me. but what an I needs to see, what an S needs to see, what a C needs to see on the assessment is so different. So can you talk a little bit, I know you do a lot about what's in it for me and customized language for those people who are like trying to work on their virtual or online experiences and they don't know how to maximize their messaging.
Yeah, it's important as well. So just like we're talking about building our team based off of their strengths and their behavior languages, it's the same thing with our customers. There's a workshop that I did, and I talked to business owners, and I allowed them to understand the language of speaking to your customer as well. Because me being a high C, I'm someone that's very cautious. When you're sending or you're posting on here, go to the link, you're going to make a $500 extra. I'm going to be like, S's and C's are skeptical. We need the data. And I know what you mean.
How many steps do I need?
I know. And yes, and I'm gonna be like, I don't trust these people. So I'm gonna go to your website. I'm gonna do some research. I'm gonna go through your frequently asked questions. I'm gonna read about 100 reviews. I'm gonna compare you to most other businesses. I'm serious. I'm gonna go through all those processes. And a lot of us will post and put information out there, not realizing that those same different behavior styles are watching your posts, and they might not really have buy-in because you're not speaking their language. So does your website have a frequently asked questions? Do you have testimonials on there? What do you have, and how are you posting to make sure you're reaching each one of those individuals? Because you will have those people that are like those high eyes that's like, oh wow, this is like the innovative thing, this is what everybody's doing, and they're more likely to be like, okay, great, I'm going to sign up right now. But then your D is like, why? I don't want to read this whole 50 paragraph post that you have, because they just like, what are the results? But then your S's and C's are like, I don't know you, I don't trust you, I don't know if you're sincere, but you don't have anything on there that's touching each and every single one of those behavior styles. So it's important that you have also an understanding of, you might not be able to touch and connect directly with those customers like you do with your team members. Mm-hmm. But by you having this information, now you're able to reach and connect to the different customer types that's out there, because it's not a one size fits all business. It's not. You have to be able to customize your experiences, not only with your customer, with your team, with all of those parties that are going to be involved in that process. Hey, Rodney.
Shout out to Tamika. She said, I love you, Coach Nat. I love you too, boo boo. I love you more. Rodney said, what up, Aisha?
Hey.
Listen, if you're just coming in, go ahead, like, share, comment. We are with the leadership and team development expert. I could say she is my leadership and team development expert, Miss Aisha Thomas. And we are talking about innovation, transformational leadership, so that maximize your message, build your online platform, and make sure that you increase your productivity by using this specific tool to lead yourself as a leader and better lead your team. Now, this is the last thing that I want to say. And if you guys have any questions, comments, anything that you want us to answer, if there's something that's holding you back and you need an answer to that question to take your mission, your goal, increase your leading or your funding, go ahead and drop it in the comments. We're going to give you the tools that you need. But we also want you to join our group coaching, where we will be able to specifically customize, as Aisha says, answers as well as strategies for you for whatever it is that you're working on and that you're ready to take to the next level. So break down for people, maybe they didn't see the last live, what the DISC assessment is. As a tool, helps your team or your online message go to the next level.
So this is a tool. So basically this tool shows and provides you with the different four specific behavior styles. The DIS and the C, you've heard us refer to that multiple times. So the D is like the results-driven person. The I is the person that feeds and loves interaction. The S is the person that likes a steady pace, but they're your team player. They're your anchor. And the C is the policy and the procedure person. So you have all these different behavior styles that you're communicating with, if they're your team member, if they're your leader, if they're your customer. And you have to have an understanding to really have that awareness on not only for yourself, because just like other people have these behavior styles, so do you as a leader. So you need to
Mm.
also have an understanding of yourself and say, okay, I know that I'm this type of leader. I lead as a D, as a results-driven person. However, when it comes to someone that is a C, this person might be uncomfortable with me saying, because a D is going to be like, listen, I need this done right now. But a S or a
Like
C is going to be
tomorrow,
like,
like
right. And
yesterday.
right, but an S is going to say, wait, I might need a few days because I need to process it and make sure that I come to you with the right product. A C is going to be like, listen, I'm going to need this amount of days because I need to make sure it's done right. They want to provide you a quality product. But you have to have that understanding because we lead based off of our behavior styles. And again, we forget to customize those experiences. So what this allows you to do is have an understanding of your leadership style. It allows you to understand the people you support, your team, your customers. And now you're able to, again, we've said customize a lot, but we have to be in the spirit of customizing our language, our experiences with each and every person, because that's the only way that our businesses are going to explode. That's the only way our customers are going to stay. And that's the only way we're really going to take our stuff to the next level. So it just unlocks that information for you, giving you that awareness, that authenticity, that understanding of yourself. And again, it's going to be really beneficial in pushing your mission and your vision forward.
Definitely, definitely. And if you're on the line now and you're like, I need that in my life, I don't know where it's been, but I gotta have it. I want to know myself better. I want to take what I've been talking about and writing in my notepad and mulling over in my head over and over, but never executing. I want to do that. I want to take it. That's my commitment for meeting my 2020 goals, COVID-19 or not. I
And
want you.
even Oh, sorry. No, and even if you've taken it, like I know Rodney dropped his high D and he's a high I, like even if you've taken it, but again, if you're building a team, if you're trying to onboard people, if you want to be able to communicate to other people, other customers effectively, you should still maybe inherit that in your onboarding process and just making sure that the back end and those other aspects of what you're doing is effective as well.
Even so, what I did was I used it in crafting the job descriptions,
Mm-hmm.
in understanding what the goals and responsibilities were, not just based on the position, but the kind of person that we needed in the position. And like you, Rodney, I'm a high D all the time and a high I. So I'm a 90. So I switched from 99D to 99I, and it's like we're best friends. Or I'm like, get it done.
Yeah.
There's like no in between. It was like, whoa. But that DISC assessment helped me to see, one, anything C related, anything detail oriented is my low spot. And so I need to have a team of people to kind of help me in those areas.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's people out there too that know, like, I'm not fully maximizing my team. I'm not fully developing my team. I'm not, like, right now, I hear it a lot from people like, I'm not motivated and I'm surely not providing enough motivation to my team. So we're kind of like either coasting or waiting for what next is going to be. And I think that DISC assessment is a tool to unlock not only your team's potential, but to help give them some definition and clarity on what and how they need to be executing their goals and doing it at a high level.
Yeah, I mean, there's even a study out there that I recently read. They did like a poll of 400 people. And of course, they had millennials stand out, but like millennials, again, they make the core of our workforces, our businesses. And they said 87% out of that group want personal development. They want on the job training. They want these tools. But what's happening is the organizations, businesses, they're not investing in developing their people or developing themselves. So now people that aren't motivated because you're not even communicating it to them effectively. You give them a job, something to do, but it's not really maximizing their strength. So now they're not motivated and they're more likely to leave. So even this data says, hey, if my business, if my leader was investing in more personal development and on the job training, I am more likely to stay than leave. And the thing is, with millennials moving in and then Gen Z's moving in as well, they're more likely to leave your business. They're more likely to leave your team to go somewhere else that's more innovative. And that means you're losing out money, you're losing out time. Because tell them, Nathalie, how is it being able to juggle so much? Like, you've had seasons where you've had to do a lot. I mean, can you say that during that season you might have lost money or lost time because you've had to because you've had to juggle so much? So tell them about that experience, having to juggle so much because you didn't have that team in place.
So there's two things. One, there's been times when I've had the team, but because I did not have this tool and the language, I did not effectively utilize my team. I'm gonna just keep it real. And that could be because of my personality type. That could be because I didn't take the time to kind of like do the systems and, you know, the processing, those areas that are low for me. So I have a team of all these people, but I'm not tapping into their gifts, their talents, their strong points in a way that I can maximize capacity and execution. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing. And then the second thing is when you talk about leadership and team development, I think another part of that study implicitly or almost, you know, subversively is confidence. For me, once I took the DISC assessment, it gave me confidence to be unapologetically who I am. I went from, is it me? Do I need to be like, you know, someone else to, oh no, this is it. This gave me the language, it gave me the self-awareness, and it gave me the confidence. And once I got that confidence and I knew who my team members were and gave them confidence to act and be who they were unapologetically, it was a game changer because I wasn't expecting them to do and be like me.
Yep. That's such a good point. And that's the expectation. We're just like, listen, get the results. I need you to get the results. What's wrong? And then you start, you know, how you talking about what's wrong with me? You start to say, what's wrong with them? I must have hired the wrong person. They're not moving at the same level and rate as me, but it's not that. You're just not utilizing them effectively. That's what it is.
And you know what I love now, Aisha? Like, I used to just be like, all right, let's do this. Now they're like, okay, Nathalie, so our meeting is scheduled for this day. I'm not prepared to have this conversation right now. And then I'm not mad. I'm like, okay, I get it. But it gave us confidence to be who we are, confidence to execute within our teams through our roles. And then the third thing that it did was allowed us to, when it comes to our services, our offerings, and our virtual platforms, to better prepare.
Yes.
And to reach people and to tap into our networks. Yeah. And that has been phenomenal. Like overall, even like when it comes down to like fundraising and, you know, giving and all of that, we're able to do that in a way that people trust us because we're being authentic.
Yeah.
And that they love us and that we're inclusive and innovative.
Yeah.
Wherein a lot of people are still stuck trying to figure out.
Yeah, and the great thing is, like, even with like once you take the assessment, there is a group, like an output that tells you, okay, out of all of the behavior style, this is where everybody sits. So even for you, you had all these people in the realm of interaction, of you know, the S's and the C's, people that were team players, they were process driven, but the area that was missing was that C. It was that person that was dotting the I, crossing the T's. So now it shows you, okay, this is what you currently have. You have a lot of people who are interactive. You have a lot of people who are process driven. You have a lot of people that are results driven. But the key piece that you're going to need is the person that's going to dot the I, cross the T's, make sure you have quality products. Because just imagine you put a product out and hey, we all have, I can't say we all have the iPhone. Most of us do. But what happens? They put a phone out. They put a phone out, and what happens? Like the
I'm
first batch of,
joking.
and then the first batch of phones, there's always a glitch. There's always something wrong with it. And what happens? They're having to like make fixes later. So that's what it is. You're putting out products, you're doing stuff and you're putting it out there, but you're missing key pieces that now this person can come in and you're saying, I need to hire a team member that is going to be driven to dot those I's, cross those T's. And now you have all the puzzle pieces together and now it's just moving forward.
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake that people make is that they feel like they need to lead alone. You see my face?
No. Yeah. No, don't do it.
Nah.
No. No, like you want to be able to sit and maximize your strengths. Like I said, we all have non-talents. We all have areas that, we might not necessarily be the best at, and that's okay. But you can be effective in your lane, being the results-driven person, effective being the person that's really functioning on hitting the goal. And then now you can build a team or build systems around you so it can tap into those, because they have other people that have those strengths. There's other people, like if you think about every big business leader, anybody that's on this, top level of success, they have a team around them. Definitely. And a lot of them have this pattern where they have these masterminds, they have these conversations, they are hiring millennials, Gen Z, they're bringing all these people in because they know it's going to push their mission and their vision. And again, we have to remind ourselves of that. Everybody in our organizations, in our business, they're all connecting to our mission and vision. And we always have to continue to remind ourselves that we have a mission and vision statement. But when was the last time you even looked at it? Are you even like you have a bio that's out there saying you do this and my mission is to impact 1,000 people? You've lost that steam. You're not even thinking about that anymore. So we have to remember everything we do is pushing that mission and vision. But what do I need? Who do I need to hire? So my vision and my mission is, it is connected. It actually, I follow through with hitting that goal.
Yeah. Rodney says, I don't want to leave, but I got to go right now.
All right, Rodney. Catch the replay, Rodney. Catch the replay.
Or you can also register at NathalieNelsonParker.com, group coaching.
Yes. And this is free coaching.
Free. And we just want to love on people. We want to share what has been the game changer for us. Listen, do not stop that business. Do not quit the process of writing and publishing that book. Do not throw your hands up because of what we are experiencing, and let go of that dream, that passion, that thing that is on your mind before you go to bed and on your mind in the morning. There is so much that we can do when we leverage our partnerships. Remember what we said. All innovation is making changes to something established. All right. So connecting with a coach, connecting with team members, connecting in group coaching. And what I really love about group coaching is that people end up making some amazing partnerships.
Oh my, that's how we ended up partnering up.
We go on the line and then we end up getting coached, or somebody ends up connected and they're starting a new program or initiative. And it's free. It's free. Jump on the line Wednesdays at 12 Central, 1 Eastern Standard Time. It's about 1 hour. And we're answering all the questions to what's holding you back, to, what do you need to go to the next level. Shout out to Tina. Tina said, hi, Aisha.
Hey, Tina. How are you?
So make sure you go ahead to NathalieNelsonParker.com group coaching. As soon as you register, you'll get that information in your inbox. And we send out reminders so that you can hop on the line and learn from both Aisha and I, as well as the crazy, wonderful world changers who are on the line. Any last words that you want to share, Aisha?
Again, remember, innovate. We're in a season where we need to innovate. So what's holding it back? Is it the process? Is it the physical, like systems? Maybe it's some things you have to purchase. Is it the actual system, the process, the 1, the 2, the 3? But think about ways to innovate. What can you do this weekend to really say, okay, what's holding me back, like Nathalie said? And then also, what am I missing? What are the things that I'm missing? Am I noticing that I'm not sending emails out within a certain time? Am I noticing that I'm missing deadlines? Am I noticing this? Because again, you might be able to identify where the gaps are. And now when you do get on the group coaching call, you can ask those questions. Hey, I need help in this area, but you really want to start thinking, how can I innovate? What am I missing? What are the missing pieces? And start working on, okay, how do I tap into a coach? How do I tap into ways to be more innovative in this area so it can, again, push my mission and my vision?
Hey,
coach. Yes, yes.
I got a coach. I got a coach. I got a coach. Hey, 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 hey. So important. So important. And then that leading from within, using assessments like the DISC to get some confidence and understanding and language around who you are so that you can develop your team to better execute and maximize your messaging for whatever it is that you want to do. I think that's so important. And then, of course, lastly, you got to be the transformational leader, because when you get all that information, if you're just going to stay the same.
Yeah, don't be Teddy Riley with this, right? Even he, no, I'm saying, but even, she's so silly. But even he's recognizing, okay, he made the shift. And I know we started off talking about that, but he went from, okay, I need to have all this, put on the show. And then the second go around, he was like, okay, it was just him in the studio. But now the missing gap is his Wi-Fi, his internet, the bandwidth that he has, it wasn't at the level it needed to be. So now hopefully he takes that information and says, okay, and the next time, if we do this again, or what can we do next time so it can be better? So that's what transformation is continuously changing and developing yourself. Also is going to benefit the people. It's going to benefit your customer. It's going to really just benefit your mission. I keep talking about mission and vision, but it's going to benefit all those things so you can, again, hit that mission and that vision.
Definitely. That's it. That is it. And we want to see you win. Okay? I'm going to say it again. Do not, is this even proper English? I promise you I have a degree.
She does. She does.
Do not.
No, it's just do not.
Guys, do you hear how quiet? First of all, do you hear how quiet it is? Yeah. Baby Parker is. I'm like way too happy.
Because we're moms too. We're juggling households and all that. So even for me, I was waiting for my kids to run down and be like, "Mommy," but they've actually been good. We're juggling.
Let you be great.
Yeah, they're a bit older.
So. Does not care.
Yeah, he told her today. What did he say? I'm not going. He was like,
I'm not going. He said, I'm
not going.
He said, boss baby. I'm the boss.
Mm-hmm.
I think my son is a D.
For sure.
Can you determine if
for sure a D and an I for sure. Oh, that I. He's so hyped, and then he's like, "Nah, I'm not going." Like, I don't want to watch the Itsy Bitsy Spider. No, he told her.
He's not having the Itsy Bitsy Spider today. Not today, Mom.
Not today.
To my husband earlier. My husband put him in the car, and then, was like getting ready to drive off, but he came in the house because he forgot something. I heard him howling out the window. Dada, where you going?
Yes. Oh my goodness. He's so interactive, and he's also like, what's up? Like, I want this now. And I need you to do it now. Show me the results.
And this is how I know my 2-year-old, well, he's 3 now. He just turned 3. This is how I know he's a D. He doesn't say like, I'm hungry. He says specifically what he wants to eat.
He tells her what he wants. Like, these are to the point. Hey, this is what I want. I'm not gonna be like, what?
For this morning. Oatmeal? I was like, it's 4:00. Go to bed. And he would not until he got his oatmeal.
He want that oatmeal.
So this is a perfect example of why.
And that's the cool thing, because this information applies to our kids too. Like as they're developing, a lot of times we want our kids to communicate a certain way, but they communicate a lot differently, and that can cause conflict. So you even having that understanding of yourself, now you're starting to understand, your family structure, and now the communication is going to be so much better.
Aisha, my marriage is so better since you gave us that DISC assessment. So whenever I see my husband go like this, I'm like, oh, let me write it down. Let me do a process first.
Yep. Yep. He needs a 1, 2, 3s. He needs it to be clear. Okay.
Right. So now he looks at me like, do we need to have this conversation right now? And I'm like, nope, let me go send you an email.
That's good. That's so good. That's so good. They're cracking up in these comments.
They're laughing at us. Well, laugh with us on Wednesdays. www.nathalienelsonparker.com. Sign up for group coaching. Not only do you get the emails about group coaching, but you also get great freemiums and resources that we provide. And it is all free. We're loving on you. We're empowering you and resourcing you in such a time as this, because you matter. And we want to see you be the world changer that God has called you to be. Well, if I was Coach Val, I would say that's it.
That's all.
Says the
clock on the wall. Go be amazing on purpose.
Love y'all. We'll see you on Wednesday for group coaching. Go ahead and sign up at NathalienelsonParker.com. Group coaching. And Nuggets with Nathalie is going to come back next week. Hopefully, I'm going to have a wonderful guest for you. I'm wearing her t-shirt right now. Let me see if you guys can see it. Can you see my t-shirt? It says Faith and Hustle.
Yes.
So we're going to bring her on next week if her schedule allows. And we're going to talk about specifically using the DISC assessment in your branding and in your, whether it's your email, your social media platforms, your messaging, like whatever it is, so that you could take it to a whole nother level, dog.
Yes.
Particularly for our Welshers who are church, nonprofit, or you're entering into the entrepreneurial world and you just need to know how to get started. You just have a great idea and you don't know how to take it off the ground.
Where to start? Where do I start? Come get that answer. Hey, Trey.
Trey is cracking up right now.
Make sure you catch the replay.
Catch the replay. NathalienelsonParker.com. Sign up for group coaching. We also have a YouTube page. I mean, matter of fact, just sign up for group coaching, because when you sign up for group coaching, you're going to
get it all.
You're going to get it all. Just go ahead and sign up. Make your life easier. Get the email and the text reminders so that you could come laugh with us on Wednesday and get your stuff together. Okay?
Yes.
Aisha got me together, and how my husband got me together, and how my husband about to get me together, because we need to start date night. So
yes, date night. All right, guys. You guys have a good night.
All right. Love y'all. Go ahead. Lead. Innovate. Transform. We need you.